This mutation is called Fire in the Hole and it is being played on minor evacuation. We have two mutators active, we have boombots, and we have missile command. So the question is, what kind of cheese you like best? Is it mozzarella? Is it parmesan? Is it Edam? Or is it just plain old classic cheddar? Well, this is probably going to be the most cheesy mutation run that will ever be casted on this channel. And I actually do encourage people to use cheese strategies, to use creative strategies for their weekly mutation submissions, and this one is absolutely perfect. I don't think this is ever going to get beaten. I don't think there's ever going to be a mutation run that will be cheesed more than this one, because you're going to see there's going to be a lot of funky stuff that'll be going on. So let's quickly have a look at the masteries while the players get set up. Abathur has gone for pretty much the optimal split here in Toxic Nest damage. So Toxic Nest 22-8 split, 30 points into the Symbiote, and then a 2-28 split into the Toxic Nest, and then the Morph and Evolution Rate mastery. Zeratul has gone for the Zeratul attack speed, artifact spawn, and Legion cost reduction. Zeratul has already put down a gateway and is going to start chrono boosting their ambushers. Abathur has already gotten a lair out and is producing an infestation pit. So you can see here the builds are not very normal, or they're not what you would normally expect from a regular mutation run like this, but there's a very good reason for it, and you're going to see why. There's going to be tons of cheeses going on here, and I'm pretty sure this will eventually get fixed by Blizzard, or at some point. I'm not really sure what the future of co-op is right now, but it may eventually get fixed, and this thing may not be possible after this patch, so we're going to see what the cheeses that are going to be implemented here is. Zeratul has picked the Zoraya Legion, and we have now a Constructs facility as well on the way for Zeratul. So we're going to be getting some observers out and all that fun stuff. But we have ambushers here that will be defending against the Missile Command Mutator for now. And Abathur is producing a Viper. And Abathur is also researching the Variant Microbes upgrade. So this is the Viper range upgrade for its spellcasting. And again, this is really interesting, and there's a consume that is used here on the Overlord to fill up that Viper's energy. So this is all very, very neat. Look at that timing, that research is done, and the Viper now can start yoinking this ship. And you might be wondering, can you actually do that? That's not allowed, and technically it should not be allowed, but apparently there is a bug that causes this to happen. I'm not 100% sure why that happens, but the Viper is able to yoink that evacuation ship. Now, there are a few things to note about the Viper yoinks if you choose to do it. Obviously, it currently only works on this patch. I'm not sure if it's going to work on future matches, but as of this patch, you can do it. There are a few things you need to know about it, though. Number one is you need this Viper range upgrade. This thing is really important because you need to be able to cast the yoink on the evacuation ship. Second is that the yoink will only work if the evacuation ship is outside vision range. So the evacuation ship, you can see over here what's going to be happening with this Viper. The Viper will be moving over and getting vision of this evacuation ship, and then it's going to move out of vision range. You can see here it's in the fog of war now, and you can cast the yoink only when the thing is outside vision range. So Zeratul is already in position, and he has started to attack the Eradicators, and you can see the Eradicators are not actually doing anything. They are not going to be attacking back. And this is the second cheese of this mission, and that is, you can actually rush the Eradicator and kill it, and the Eradicator is just not going to be fighting back. It's just going to be standing over here and just taking a beating. And now, Zeratul has moved his ambushers right outside Blightbringer's cave. So, the Eradicators over here, they are just going to be standing still, and he's taken out the Air Eradicator, and now this thing has woken up, but this thing is not able to hit the ground units. So Zeratul is going to just delete this Eradicator. So that is bonus objective number 1 completed. And we have also Blightbringer's cave, and we have a bunch of ambushers here that are just parked right outside. So we're going to have a look and see what's going to be happening with Blightbringer in just a little bit. The Viper is just going on a little yoinking party right now, and he is going to be pulling all the evacuation ships over, and we have already one evacuation ship here and one evacuation ship on the ramp. So this is going to be very, very interesting in terms of the strategy. We have a few shield guards here to keep these ambushers alive, because when Blightbringer spawns, he will obviously start to attack these guys. But overall, this mission seems to be going okay. The boom bots have been handled reasonably easily, and you can see the attack wave has spawned. And as you noticed, the ship has not launched. This ship is still parked over here, and this ship will not launch until something moves up onto this beacon here and triggers the evacuation ship. The attack wave is on the way as well. There's a boombot on the node inside Zeratul. Let's go try and intercept that, and he's also picked up his second artifact fragment. So Zeratul wants to try and get vision of this boombot, and Abathur is going to be inputting the code into this boombot here, and the boombot gets disabled. There's an attack wave that is moving up towards the ramp here, and now Zeratul is going to be using his Soraya Legion just to start pushing into this area and clearing out some of these structures. It'll just make it a little bit easier, reduces the chances of failure, and reduces the chance that boombot will come in and just accidentally wreck them. There is an attack wave now that is right on top of Abathur's base. Zeratul is in position, and there is shield guards as well here. And some Zerglings, somewhat confused, not sure what to do, and also a Tesseract Monolith here that ends up disabling some of these Zerglings, or at least temporarily stunning them, and then killing them off. We have another enemy attack wave again. They're going for this evacuation ship. This is probably the only time you'll see an attack wave going towards that evacuation ship here. There is no... Attack waves do not normally target this ship because this ship is usually the first one to launch, otherwise it's destroyed anyway at the start of the mission. This is again a rare sight, and this, like I said, there is going to be a lot of cheeses going on over here. And this Viper is just pulling stuff away, and Zeratul is going to go in and intercept this attack wave. He's going to clear this thing out, and one more swipey move, and he will be able to kill off the rest. Oh, unfortunately, the Zerglings did end up getting out of the way here. But again, there is a Tesseract Monolith here, and it will end up stunning the rest of these Zerglings. It's not really much of an issue, and Zeratul will end up clearing them out as well. And now Blightbringer has spawned, and you can see what's happened over here. Blightbringer has been body blocked by the ambushers, and there is nothing he can do. He's like, let me out. I want to come out so I can start attacking you, and he is stuck inside the cave because he is body blocked by those ambushers. The third cheese of this mission has occurred, and the Blightbringer just sad and just stuck inside the cave, and the ambushers are saying, just get back in there. You're gonna get in there, and you're gonna shut your face. And that is the end of Blightbringer. No abilities used, no burrows, nothing. That is Blightbringer dead. Blightbringer cheese, Eradicator is cheesed, and Evacuation ship's cheesed. So that is pretty much it. The mission is ready to be started whenever these players are ready to go ahead and deal with it. Zeratul is just using his Royal Legion right now just to clear some more of these structures out, to removing the enemy structures on this map. And again, we have ambushers now that have come up after their triumphant victory against Blightbringer, and they are going to start clearing out some more of these structures as well. It's not really too big of a deal here. Abathur of Essence gets used as well, and the Abathur of Essence will end up clearing out some more of these enemy structures. Zeratul just going swipey on some more of these infested. And there's another bot here that needs to be disabled. And again, this shield guard just drawing a little bit of aggro, making sure that boombot does not get into Abathur's face, because that would be kind of bad. All it takes is one boombot right in the middle of the base, and the boombot will end up clearing out your structures, and you will end up losing to the Missile Command Mutator. But Tesseract Monoliths are doing okay as well, and Zeratul is just going to go ahead and just clear out some more of these structures as well. Funnily enough, the Biomass Balls for Abathur also get the Abathur effects as well. It's completely... It has no effect on the Biomass Balls and the effects of the, on the buffs that they give Abathur. But it's just an interesting thing. They are treated as units, obviously untargetable, unselectable units, but things can be selected as well. So we have a few more evacuation ships, and Zeratul is just going to go ahead and he's just going to clear some of these structures here. So where is Mr. Abathur's... So this Abathur is building a little bit of a nest. So he's dragged the excavators. This thing has come from here, by the way. So here's also a really cool thing about this excavator is that this is an Easter egg. The excavator is actually sits over here, and it plays one of 3 random animations when you first see it. So it can either dig, or it goes, or it reverses back, or something like that. So they're one of 3 animations that the excavator plays when you actually first get vision of it. So that's a little Easter egg on this mission. I don't think I included it on the Starcraft2Coop.com Easter eggs page, but it's a little cool thing that you can try and pay attention to. And there's some other random vehicles as well that's being pulled over here. And Zeratul is just gonna go and clear out some more of these enemy structures. And once he's cleared all these enemy structures, the boombots are not really gonna be a problem anymore. So a lot of these players will just deal with the Missile Command Mutator, and they will just have a little bit more fun playing this mutation. So the ultimate cheese is occurring. They're disabling the boombots Mutator. They have dealt with the Eradicators in the cheesiest way possible. They have made Blightbringer sad that he couldn't even come out of the cave, and they are pulling the evacuation ships into a nice safe position for launching. So we have another Zoraya Legion here, and Zoraya Legion will start clearing out some more of these structures. Unfortunately, Zoraya Legion is getting aggroed by the missile turret, but the missile turret will end up going down before it kills off one of the Royal Legion. And it doesn't really matter, these Banshees are around as well. These Banshees are not going to be annoying. They're not going to be doing anything much. And Zeratul now has just dodged some more of these Boombots, and that is the end here. You can see another thing here as well. The Boombot AI is kind of spazzing out. Whenever it sees a toxic nest, the Boombot will move towards that toxic nest. And because the toxic nest is untargetable, the Boombot does not end up detonating on top of the toxic nest, and it can sometimes ping-pong as well. One thing you can also do if you really want to try and do an ultimate cheese is you can mess with the Boombot AI by putting some of these toxic nests down, and the Boombots will just ping-pong between two toxic nests. It is a little bit more tricky because it depends on how the AI sees your enemy, your structures, and how it gets vision of the structures on the map. So it is a little bit more complicated to do. Random use can provide some vision, but that is something that can happen as well. And unfortunately, Zeratul's Abrogators have destroyed the excavator here, but there's a small attack load as well here that is giving a little bit of problems to Zeratul, but now Zeratul's got some vision and clear that out. So there is another attack wave over here, and now I think they are actually ready to go, and they are ready to start the launch. I think they have pretty much everything here. We have evacuation ships just blocking everything here. There's a Brutalisk on the top, on the high ground here, and that will end up the rest of the stuff. And simply cancel that, just to make sure everything is okay. They have to be a little bit careful with how they execute this, but it's very, very easy to screw this up. But I think all the evacuation ships have been moved out of position. I'm not really sure, but yeah. No more Boombots. The Missile Command Mutator is pretty much handled by Zeratul. It doesn't really have anything else to worry about. He's going to be pulling some of the evacuation ships. So we have 3 ships here. We have another ship in this spot here. And now where is this Viper going to be? He's a fat Viper. He does have, I think, 200 biomass. He's moving around. You can see no evacuation ship over here anymore. And where is this? I think this Viper is going to move to this last evacuation ship and get that into position. 2 random drones here for aim on. Those drones were once very mighty combat units, and now they have become drones right there. And yeah, Abathur is just getting ready to start pushing this into position. I think they'll be ready to launch here. There is a nuclear missile on the way as well. And one thing to also add is someone might say, this is a really long-winded way of doing it. Yes, it is a very long-winded way of playing this mutation. It is a very cheesy way of doing this mutation, but that is the fun of cheeses, is the fact that you can do random stuff and actually have a lot of fun doing it. So that is something to also know. This evacuation ship actually doesn't even fall right into the hole there, which is actually, that would be really, really funny. It actually fell right into the bottom of the terrain, but yes, this Viper is pulling a lot of weight right now, pun intended, and it is actually moving these evacuation ships all into position. Ready to launch whenever you are. Syntharis is ready. They have joined. Syntharis and Spooky have joined the Caligon Jameson meme lord bandwagon because they have. I think this is the cheesiest way of doing. I think this is going to be the cheesiest weekly mutation cast ever in the history of Starcraft Coop.com. I don't think anything is going to be any more cheesy than this, because this is it. So we have a wall-off of evacuation ships here. Also, one of the cool things to note is that the evacuation ships have different numbers. I don't know whether you did notice this, but they have numbers on the top of their evacuation ships as well. And I can't remember the exact number, but I think I referred to them by number on the StarcraftCoop.com minor evacuation page. I think I do. I think I do mention them by their number. So we have how many evacuation ships? Okay, we have all the okay, we have 6 evacuation ships here, and they need to launch 5. So yeah, those are all the evacuation ships that are ready. So what are they going to do now? There's an attack wave here that's kind of lost. They don't know what's going on. They're like, wait, there were supposed to be evacuation ships over here. Where'd the evacuation ships go? These poor Hydralisks. Look at that borrow timing as well. That symbiote killed the Hydralisk as the Brutalisk was borrowing across. Now Zeratul, there's another drop attack here. The drop attack has discovered where the evacuation ships are, but I do not, or they've discovered where the players' expansions are. Unfortunately, it is not going to be too long for this world. We have evacuation ship block and another couple of evacuation ship block here, and ready whenever you are. So these commanders are ready to start launching. I don't know, I wonder if they're going to launch them all from the same time. So Zeratul is over here. He's going to launch that evacuation ship first. So that evacuation ship is going to get triggered right now, and that one is going to start getting launched as well. So Zeratul is going to be moving over here. Yeah, so he's going to be launching all the 5 evacuation ships at the same time, or at least trying to launch them at the same time. So this is the second one that will be launched as well. So Green is going to start panicking and be like, oh, we are... Oh, there's no nuclear missiles. Back and relax. Yes, this is going to be a really, really weird thing. So Zeratul is just going to go ahead and launch it. He's going to launch 3 ships at the same time, 4 ships at the same time, and this is going to be insane. So I think, while you can see Zeratul is here and launching the rest of these ships from their beacons, I think I'm going to go over here. You can see how the infested look like when they are attacking these things. So these evacuation ships are over here, and Zeratul is going to be making his way toward the next one. There is a Naya Swarm that spawns over here, and these Zerglings are somewhat confused as to what's going on. They're like, wait a minute, this is not where the evacuation ship is going to be. Brutalist have now deep tunneled across, and now Zeratul is going to launch the 4th evacuation ship as well. Apparently, there was a Naya Swarm that spawned, and because of the Naya Swarm spawn over there... Oh, that's actually really funny. The Naya Swarm spawned, which meant that the boom bots have started spawning again. So these commands will have to try and deal with the boom bots that are coming up here. I think Abathur will be able to be okay here. There's another set of Naya Swarms here and another set of Naya Swarms on there. That will have to be dealt with. That's actually really, really funny. There's a lot of Banshees over here that are hammering Zeratul's army, but we have Shield Guard, the Reflection Bubbles, I believe, on the way, and there is a lot of Infested coming up here, but these Abrogars do not care. Banshees are dealing with a little bit of extra damage onto Zeratul's army, but Zeratul will be able to clear out those Banshees very, very quickly. Unfortunately, the point defense missiles are causing a few problems as well for Zeratul. Well, one blink ends up clearing out the nuclear missile as well as those Banshees. Abathur jumps in as well to try and help his ally. And drop attacks everywhere over here. The evacuation ship now is starting to get launched as well. Zeratul is on course to pick and trigger out the final evacuation ship of this mission, so he is on that beacon right now. And yeah, so Abathur will have to deal with those boom bots as well. Those boom bots will start to spawn and be a little bit more annoying for Zeratul. But you can see how this boom bot is moving over here because it has actually aggroed those toxic nests on the high ground. So that is one of the weird things that can happen, but it's definitely something that can occur here. Evacuation ship is taking a little bit of damage, but Abathur Viper has now joined in, the hero Viper that was responsible for the ultimate cheeses. And there's one random boom bot over here. Be careful though, the boom bot can, if it detonates a nuke, the boom bot can damage the evacuation ship. So you need to be a little bit careful over there. So that's the 4th evacuation ship launched, and then the final one now is also on the way for being launched, I believe. Did Zeratul actually get that? I'm not really sure. Yeah, you can see what's happening over here. These boom bots are actually moving over to these toxic nests, and I think they will probably end up ping-ponging between these 2 toxic nests. Yeah. So see how these boom bots are stuck here? It's a little cheese for you as well. These boom bots will just keep ping-ponging between the 2 toxic nests, and they won't really be doing anything. They'll move back and forth, and as long as these toxic nests are around, they're not going to do very much. So that is something else you can also do. So there you go. There is another base cheese that you can do with the boom bots as well if you're interested. That one is a little bit more tricky. I will tell you that. It is a little bit more tricky to do because it depends on how Amon gets vision of your structures. And there are random entities on the map that are not Amon units that can provide vision for Amon. So do pay attention to that if you do intend on trying to do that. Viper throwing some more disabling clouds. Just look at this. Look at the slew of infested here. If Zeratul moves his Abrogars right here, he's gonna get so much value for that. There's so many infested that are just over here. But that is the last evacuation ship launch in the most cheesy way, and that is GG.